corner of Connecticut, came to Griswold just to get swept. Griswold won 25-6, 25-6, and 25-11. Coranda Ruggiero, 19 assists, 8 kills, 8 aces, 4 digs. Abby Matheson, 6 kills and 3 aces. Michaela Nielsen had 6 kills, and Sonia Matheson had 5 kills and 3 aces. Coranda Ruggiero, also the ECC Girls Athlete of the Week. Coach Jamie Bruno said he was extremely happy to see Coranda honored as ECC Athlete of the Week. He says she's a phenomenal setter and a true competitor. She fought through a bad ankle sprain that week and came back in 4 days to help them beat Woodstock. Despite her lack of mobility due to the sprain, she still managed to have a great game. So congratulations to Coranda Ruggiero. State Boys Soccer Tournament starts tomorrow for Griswold. Actually, it starts today, but Griswold, the 4 seed, gets a bye. Griswold will play the winner between Montville and Immaculate. Montville has played Griswold twice this year, and they have split a 2-game series. Here's a look at your local weather forecast on SNSN. We should have sunny skies for Tuesday with a high near 66 degrees and a little bit of a wind out of the west, 6 miles per hour. For tonight, increasing clouds, temperatures dropping down to about 44 degrees, not much of a wind to speak of. And for Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, and those clouds should pretty much go away for mostly sunny skies for Wednesday, and temperatures right around 63 degrees.
The home of Griswold Wolverine Sports, SNSN.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? That's you.
Oh, it's me.
That's you.
You're talking to me. Beautiful. Happy to be back.
Yeah, you've been the MIA for a while.
Yeah, they changed my shifts. I change every 4 weeks and choose, I go on different shifts.
I think really just quit.
No.
Just quit the job and come in here for,
I'll be more than happy to do that.
zero compensation.
Why not?
And it's worth that.
I do it.
How would I sell that? How would I sell that? I don't know.
Oh, I think there would be a conversation beforehand with somebody else that might not agree.
It doesn't matter. Anniversary or not. Happy anniversary to you and
I don't know. She's
whatever,
happy
Kathy.
about it, but
Kathy, I hate to say it, but as soon as he told me it was your anniversary, I went, I'm sorry. Ken Willie said the pay went up.
Oh, I got a bonus?
Yeah.
Another zero?
Yeah, actually, you're going to get a 4X.
Oh, sweet.
Anniversary bonus.
Four
Rich,
goose eggs.
congratulations,
Thank
Rich.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Excellent.
Yeah, the pay went up, Ken. Yeah, exponentially.
Excellent.
So,
now that 25% of our staff are out, so.
You mean
out.
here?
No,
At work? At your work?
So.
Why? Were they sick? Or?
One had surgery and the other one's having a baby. So we're going to have to fill those shifts too somehow. But
no.
See what happens.
So those of you, just a quick little community piece here. Bill Schmier, who runs the American Legion, most people know him in town. They've been wondering, well, where's he been? Because usually he goes over to Dean's Corner and he's over there all the time. And he hasn't been there. He's been MIA.
Yeah.
So we did find out yesterday that Bill has pneumonia, and he's actually been in the hospital. And but he's getting better.
Good.
And hopefully be coming home today. So
excellent.
So if you're familiar with Bill, he's getting better. He's a cagey old guy.
He runs that whole building down there, right? Manages it?
Yeah, I mean he's like the top dog down at the American Legion. I think it's more to see him and his son.
Okay.
But he's doing better, which is good. So he's a trooper, that guy.
I'm sure pneumonia is kicking his butt. That's pretty rough.
Oh, it is, and to see people come up to him and what they talk about and what kind of things they say about Bill Schmier, it's always very complimentary.
He's a nice guy. Yeah.
He's a very nice guy. Very nice guy. And anyway, he's getting better.
Good.
So that's good.
Good to hear.
Good. Big fight at Griswold High School
Little, yeah.
Pay-per-view. Yesterday, 2 kids going at it in front of the office.
Yeah, I think the media.
We blow it up,
Yeah, it wasn't that big.
yeah. One of them lost a limb, I heard.
Yes, it was
Yeah,
detrimental,
whatever.
blood everywhere,
Yeah.
and people running around screaming.
That's the media. It's media embellishment right there. Apparently, one kid really just got potatoed.
Yeah, I was home in like 15 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there were state police and ambulance and all that stuff, but apparently all was well.
Yeah,
It happens. Sometimes you get
the kids.
testosterone going between
Yeah.
a couple of young boys, and then look out.
Yeah, the kids. I remember seeing I saw a lot more worse fights in my high school career.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't hear about them too much anymore.
No, they didn't have social media back then.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true. Do you think that's affected
Mhm.
like fist fights that kids would have in school?
Oh yeah, 100%.
How so? How would I
Because
see it?
we hear it from our kids all the time. They get in a fight, and all the kids get their cameras out, and they're what do you call it? TikToking it and putting it up on social media. As soon as you
Doing
get
it
the
all
most
for the
likes.
gram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some of them even will plan the fights. Hey, let's get in a fight, and
Really?
we'll have it videotaped. And yeah, it's all.
We'll put it everywhere.
Yeah, actually, and
We'll be
what was it?
TikTok famous.
The kids had one the other day from NFA that they showed us. It was all on.
It was all staged.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was staged. No, it wasn't staged, but I think in order for people to get the start of the fight, someone had to know what was going to take place.
Got it.
It was a real fight, but
Hmm.
the girl got her butt kicked.
Nobody's as famous as a certain duo right now.
Oh,
Island Boys.
yeah, Kathy showed me that yesterday.
we're just trying to make it. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Island Boys.
That's crazy.
They don't have a record. They don't have anything.
Yeah.
They did a. I don't even think that's their hair.
I don't think so.
No,
That's-
it looks like
no,
just like
The
something they
wig
sit on
they
top
put
of
on
their head.
top. Yeah,
Yeah.
Are those real tattoos though? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I kind of trolled a little bit, and one of the kids has a girlfriend, and it looked on her account, and looks like there are some tattoos, but not as many.
Yeah, that's.
you know.
I was
So
just wondering, like,
Island
they-
Boys.
just wondering what they plan on doing in the future, like that. That's.
I don't. You know, I'm all about tattoos. You know.
I
mean,
love them too, obviously.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Myself as well. You
Yeah.
know. So
The face, though, I never really
No.
understood the face.
or the neck.
Yeah.
You know, because you get older. I mean, they're what 21 years old. I think
Mhm.
20, 21. These
They look
kids.
like they could be.
They're fraternal twins.
Oh.
And they've got a police record a mile wide.
No.
Oh, yeah. And now they're just Island Boys, and they're not even from an island, unless you want to count the Florida Keys. You know,
Island,
but-
they're smoking in their head. That's,
Yeah, no, they're from Florida,
Hmm.
and they're not Cuban or anything like they claim to be.
Okay.
Or from the islands.
You know, it's funny. The tattoos. My brother messaged me. He's a pastor out in like Wisconsin, cheese making area out
Yeah.
there, and he was asking me if I liked the tattoo he was planning on getting. I'm like,
No.
well, it was like a whole arm. Like,
Sleeve, right?
yeah. I'm like,
Okay.
well, Phil, I mean, you got to remember you're a pastor,
Hmm.
and your clergy might not appreciate, even if you do or anybody else does. I could like it all I want, but I don't know if you're clergy, because a lot of churchgoers are more reserved, maybe.
Yeah, you know
And-
what?
I told him, if you can cover it up, awesome.
I
If you're
don't-
gonna put a shirt on to try and make yourself look more clergy-ish, or whatever you call it. I'm not a churchgoer myself 100%, but
More
Uh,
reverendish.
yeah, I'm not a pastor by any means. But he ended up getting it, and he showed me pictures. Like, I guess it's a lot more accepted thing in the church. All
Yeah.
those tattoos and piercings and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I think it's just society now,
Yeah.
and it's just evolution,
Mhm.
of our pop culture.
Yeah,
I
I think the professional setting's changing a lot more. That people are a lot more accepting of that kind of stuff.
What about you folks out there in social media land? What do you think? Should clergy get tattoos?
Interesting question.
Should they or should they not?
Hmm.
Would you trust a judge less if he had a big old neck tattoo that was visible from the bench?
But I think it would depend on what side you're on. Yeah.
Just in general. I mean, do you think he or she would be qualified for their job with a big old neck tattoo? Do you think that plays a part? Does that say what type of person that judge could be?
I think it definitely, my opinion, I think it definitely puts an idea of what kind of mentality that person has, or because not anybody's just going to go out and get a tattoo like that. But I think doesn't make them unqualified. That's a whole different ballgame.
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah.
It doesn't make them unqualified, but
mentality.
What about public perception?
Right.
Does that have anything to do with it?
I would look at
I don't want to go in front of that judge. He's got a neck tattoo. He's going to send me to the Huskow. I'm
See, my
death
mentality.
by bunga bunga. I mean, hey.
My mentality would tell me that he's probably more down to earth and a more understanding.
Okay.
That's what I would.
Okay, that's you.
Yeah.
But what about
everybody
a
else?
65-year-old guy
Right.
that just got himself, he's got about 10 parking tickets,
Right.
and he's got to go in front of the judge,
Yeah, different society back then, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, is that 65, 70-year-old guy looking at this going, he's just trying to fight back, against my generation.
Yeah.
I'm going to,
Very possible.
death penalty for parking violation.
Yeah.
I mean, could it happen?
Very
No.
possible. I mean, you look at a lot of like the police academies and state police corrections and all. They had a lot of tattoo bans back in the. They've had to lessen those.
Not anymore.
No, they've had to lessen the requirements because
Yeah.
they couldn't get enough people. But
Now what?
Yeah.
Now what are they going to do?
yeah, military same way. Military had the same problem. Even though you join the military, you get your tattoos, but they were banning them too. If you can see them, you can't get them.
Tattoos are much different now.
Yeah.
They're more artwork,
Right.
Than
Exactly,
just a greenish, bluish ink,
Yep.
that has an anchor.
I think it's
says
more of a reflection
Mom.
of you. That's where a lot of it comes from. Is
Yeah.
like all my tattoos have a purpose behind it.
Every one of mine have.
Yeah.
And actually, I have two of them that. There's one right there. If you can see it.
Yeah.
It's a crow.
Mhm.
Whoop, which way? There we go. That one and this one right here. Those are both cover-ups.
Okay. Yeah, actually, both.
And they still have meanings.
Yeah.
It's weird,
Yeah.
because the original tattoos had meanings,
Mhm.
and the cover up has a meaning of that tattoo.
to cover it up.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, but it's
You're making up for something else. That's a
Yeah.
yeah. Well, like my these are both shoulders are cover up some
Mhm.
old tattoos that I had when I was younger. So
now. Do you think it matters in the workplace?
me personally, no.
All right, so you're going into a building, for acquisitions and mergers.
Right.
All right. So let's see. General Electric just announced that they're splitting into 3 companies.
Yes.
All right. So all of a sudden, here comes Rich Waslick, and he's got a big old tattoo right across his forehead. Yet you have 2 master's degrees and a PhD in business administration.
Mm-hmm.
Do they look at you and say, you don't fit the mold of what we feel that should be here? Or do they go on your business acumen and your work history?
I think my real belief is, I tell the kids this all the time and hope they listen one day, is your first impression is going to be your last impression.
All right, here's an interesting comment from Alice Amaro. No need to draw the line. It's called respect for the public. It's getting way too far. Need to set boundaries. Your tattoos may have a purpose, and that's great for a public servant. Keep your purpose private in your ideas private, and as a society, we will judge. I think that's true. I think if
Yeah.
you see something like that, you'll end up your first instinct is to judge.
Yeah.
Not that you want to, but you
It's
have
natural, human
you
nature.
have a first thought.
That's
first
what I was saying. I
perception.
think your first impression is going to be a long-lasting one.
Mhm.
You can talk to anybody all you want. You have to decide whether you want to talk to them. That's going to be the.
So your anniversary bride says, same issue in corporate America, had to hide my tattoos to
Yep.
keep colleagues from having certain perceptions of me but now tattoos are a bit more acceptable.
Right.
You know?
I think there's still a line though. That's the.
Yeah. I think there is still a line. So like if you look at like I said, like a judge,
Mhm.
it's got a big old neck tattoo. What's the
Mhm.
public perception of that?
Right. And that's why I was telling
Yeah.
my brother, you're going to be a clergyman, you're going to be a pastor, you're going to go up in front of a bunch of people. Whether you think it's acceptable or a couple other people, you have to think about your whole, they call them a flock or something, I think.
Mhm.
You have to, what are they all going to perceive? You're running a $1 million church.
Mhm.
You want people to keep coming in, you're going to have to make it more acceptable for them to want to come in. That's all. That was-
Or does your congregation
Mhm.
change?
yeah, exactly.
You know, so that's the other thing too.
Yeah. So I think
it's pretty interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
to think about, of how the public perceives tattoos and
Mhm.
piercings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Would you I mean, let's say you had a gynecologist came in,
Mhm.
and had a tongue ring.
right. Yeah.
What do you think would be the first perception?
Right.
It's like,
Right. Yeah, you have to present yourself in a way that someone's going to want the service.
Exactly.
And everything. It's people may not like it, but people don't always like what they have to do. It's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, so that brings us into, we're talking about the workplace a little bit and what things are accepted and what things are not
Mhm.
accepted, or, the perception of everything. What about during the pandemic?
Mhm.
A lot of things have changed. And I don't know if it's temporary or it's permanent, but or a permanent change to our culture. But it seems like, with everybody that are working remotely,
Mhm.
a lot of people still are, even though they probably could go back to the office.
Yeah.
Infection levels are down. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, like last year, around December,
Mhm.
or January, when it gets really, really cold out, then there's no such thing as the flu anymore.
Right.
And it's all
Yeah.
COVID.
Yep.
But, do you think that a lot of companies have looked at that and say, hey, wait a minute. This is a good thing for our company.
Yeah.
So-
I've actually read articles about that because
Yeah.
it was actually one of my assignments in school. Last class was to look at that, and they were saying that a lot of companies, especially the larger ones that have large office buildings and
Yeah,
everything that
yeah.
were empty, they've actually decided to stay with remote workers.
I said to Paul Lash a bunch of times at the very beginning of the whole remote, home remote working,
Mhm.
that this could be the beginning of the end of the big city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it will be partially. I think there's a lot of companies that still require, they have that need. You're going to
Mhm.
have an office of some kind
why?
because you have to have a place where the team can go meet. You have to have a place where your files can be kept. A lot of businesses still, a lot of regulations still require paper copies of stuff. So you have to have a
Okay.
storage place. You have
So
to
you
have,
send it. You send it via mail.
well, there's
You do
some
all
are-
your
yeah,
meetings virtually.
Yeah, some are doing that, but what I'm saying is they have to have a place where they can be stored in one place, like a bank type of place.
Mhm.
So I think because it's going to be smaller buildings, so they're not paying as much.
Right. So,
But I think you're going to have smaller buildings. I
So-
think that's going to be.
so
the,
let's look at like a company like a cell phone company
Mhm.
that has customer service. Right. They have
Mhm.
hundreds and hundreds of reps, all over the country.
Yeah.
To answer people's calls.
Yep.
Whatever. So they're all working from home.
Yeah.
They get set up with their computer, their
Yep.
phone line, their whole thing.
Mhm.
Do you think it's going to make it easier for them to hire? And the other thing is, yes, I do agree. They're going to have some sort of
Yeah.
an office building.
Yeah.
But maybe 1/10 the size.
Yeah.
Because
I think that they're going to be able to hire, but I think
do you think
they're
that
gonna
will
have to be
make
more
it
careful of who they hire?
okay, but I'm sure they're going to have to go through their normal vetting process.
Well, I was saying I think it's going to be tougher.
You think so? Why?
Because one reason is the person's not sitting in front of you, so they can be anything and pretending to be anything right over the internet. But two, I know that if you're going to be working from home, if you're going to same thing with education, if you're going to be an online student, you have to be more disciplined, self-disciplined, not because not when your boss or mommy and daddy aren't standing over you saying, "Hey, did you finish this? Did you do that? Did you do this? Why are you on Facebook, Instagram, or all day instead of doing your job?" Stuff like that. It's going to be, I think, a lot tougher to police their employees. And I know that was one of the concerns: that how can we police our employees that we're paying to do all this work? Are they really doing it? Are they not doing it? What are they doing while we're paying them? Stuff like that. But on the flip, I think they're getting more bang for their buck because the employees are happier. Because, oh, my kids are sick. I don't have to leave work. I can stay home and do my work while my kid is home sick. Or I can travel while I'm doing this online meeting over the phone.
I'm a flex employee. I can sign in when I want to, and
so I think they're getting more bang for the buck that way. So I think it's a double-edged sword like everything else. I think it's going to be tougher in some aspects, but make everything a lot easier in other aspects.
That Kathy again.
Yeah, she's on it all the time.
She's only on Tuesdays. I don't know why.
She works at home. So
well, she says our company is asking people to come back to the office starting in January. They feel face-to-face meetings and working together improves ideas, team building and production. And they're expanding the office spaces now. And this is in Cambridge.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that that's all true. As far as team building.
Yeah.
You can't do that remote. You still need that that
you need
human contact within a certain proximity. I mean, I think that will also bring out creativity.
With her job, she was telling me that it's only going to be like once or twice a month that she has to go up there, and the rest of the time is remote work. But once or twice a month, you have to go to the office and show your face or something.
Okay, now let's go back to the hiring process.
Yeah,
the hiring process. You said well, maybe a little harder to go ahead and vet people out or whatever. But what about if they required new potential employees to come in for a face-to-face interview?
Yeah.
I
think that's a lot more fruitful than having someone sit over a computer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think too that if let's say it's a customer service kind of position, like a phone rep or whatever. So they're taking phone calls. I think you can tell in the quality of the work. But you know what? There's two types of people in the workforce. There's people who supervise and people who need supervision.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
So I think those people weed themselves out quickly.
Probably because you see nothing's coming in, so no productivity or.
Well, not only that, but there are companies that are perpetually hiring because there's an open door.
Yeah.
Every day there's someone else coming in. There's someone else leaving.
Yeah. Well, I think with the current work climate, it's going to be a lot more tough to keep employees because now they realize that they can go anywhere they want. I don't like you here. I don't feel comfortable. My boss looked at me weird yesterday. I'm going to go find another job. So that's the current climate we're in.
Madeline says, I noticed that many people can't multitask in their job either. Now, Madeline, question for you. Are you talking about remote working or are you speaking just in general?
I find that in general.
You know what? 30 years ago, didn't have to multitask.
Right. Yeah.
Now we got to do 3-4 things at a time. And sometimes that's not enough.
Yeah.
It's all about getting more bang for your buck.
I saw somewhere they were talking about.
Oh, she said in general.
In general, yeah. I saw somewhere that there's actually nothing really about multitasking.
What do you mean?
That you can't do multiple things and do it 100%.
Oh, I don't think you can. I think,
Yeah.
No.
So you're still splitting that. Like you're doing 4 different things. It's only 25% effort in each thing.
Like I always have like a piece of paper and a pen.
Mhm.
So if I'm doing something and then, online, and let's say I have my phone propped up and somebody sends me a message,
Mhm.
I won't deal with that right away,
Mhm.
but I'll write it down, text Scott
Yep.
Fryer.
Yep.
I got to call Scott Fryer back,
Yep.
or something like that,
Yep.
or one of the other guys.
Yeah. Like I've
It's-
gotten pretty good at hearing different things at the same time, but you're still gonna miss pieces, certain aspects of what you're listening to.
Yeah. And I still think that there's something to be said for giving your undivided attention
Yeah.
to a situation.
Yeah.
What about restaurants?
About using your phone in a restaurant, you mean? Or-
I mean, you have to almost multitask for that,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I would think.
I would hope so. In some way, you have to deal with multiple people.
But you just said that, and I agree with you that you can't 100% multitask or do 2-3 things at once. Something's
Yeah.
going to lose out, and that same thing.
Yep.
I think. Is
Well, I
true
think
with
if,
restaurants. So.
if someone's taking your order, I want your undivided attention if you're taking my order.
Yeah, because
But-
you know what happens then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can still notice that person over there needs something.
Yeah.
You can go to it later, but you notice they need something.
Exactly.
But I know we were in one restaurant. Kid came over. It was a young kid, probably first, second job, who knows? And they're like, "Hey, you guys are done?" We're like, "Yeah." They're like, "Okay," and walked away. Didn't pick anything up off the table. Didn't do anything. He just okay, and he walked away. It's like I'm assuming it's the
I
first or
think-
second job, but
I think that waiters and waitresses, although and that's a tough job, it's not a job that
Oh,
I would
yeah.
want.
yeah, it was a busboy. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's hard. I think that they have selective hearing.
yeah.
Miss, sir. You know they heard me, right? You know they heard me, right? Ma'am. Damn, she looked right at me. Yeah, how many times does that happen?
Oh yeah,
right?
I think they know the other guy's giving a bigger tip. That's probably.
Madeline said, "Only you, Mike." You know what else they're really schooled at? And I talked about this yesterday with Paul. Is that you could be sitting there, eating your entree, and just it's really good, and you're going to town, and then you got a mouthful of food, and right at that time, the waitress or the waiter comes over and goes, "So how's everything? Is it good?"
Yeah.
They're sitting behind the register. You know damn well
Watching
that's
you.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
They go, "He's going in for it. He's going to take a bite. Go." How's everything? It's true. Next time you go to a restaurant, count how many times the waiter or waitress comes over to you and asks you, "Hey, is everything good?"
Yeah.
And you got a mouthful of food.
Yeah, she did it last night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's true though. Oh. They wait for it.
Oh yeah.
They wait for it. Then they run over. Because you know why? They're not going to talk back.
Exactly. They're not going to complain about it.
They're
Yeah. The interesting thing is you're talking about jobs. We were walking, leaving Stop and Shop last night, and they had a
Yeah.
table right at the exit. It said hiring full-time and part-time employees.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think you have to perpetually hire.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to keep a stack of people at the ready because let's say you do 30 interviews right in the course of a month. How many of those you're really going to hire? Not even half,
No.
right? And then out of those half that are prospective employees, maybe 5. Let's see, let's cut down to 15. So maybe 3 to 5 are actually hireable,
Right.
And you're going to put them on staff. So really, you're going down to what? 10%.
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
10% of all your applicants.
Yep.
So here's another thing too. Now this is way back, but when I was running Radio Shack stores, way back in the day, back when they were relevant and they were a thing,
I think I remember a Radio Shack.
You don't remember Radio
No, I
Shack?
do.
Come on,
I
man.
remember there was one in Norwich we used to go to.
I ran both.
Yeah.
Of them. I opened the one in Norwich Town Mall when the Norwich Town Mall was a thing.
That's what we were talking about last
Oh,
night.
really?
Norwich Town Mall. You're walking around inside the mall.
Can you still do that?
No,
No,
they're
not
all
at all, huh?
outside separate stores.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I used to love the.
We were talking about the BB Dairy and the little, what's that, the doggy
Yeah.
petting store or something. We take the dogs.
Puppy Love.
Puppy Love. That's what it was. Yeah. A Caldor. You can walk around the whole center court
Yeah.
and walk to the other side inside the store.
I don't even know where the hell I was going with that, but
Relevance or something. And
yeah, I don't know. I totally lost it. Passed me in both
the
lanes.
fly went by. Yeah.
I don't even need that, man. I think it's just a stiff wind. It's like, what? Did you say something to me? I don't know.
Well, we're saying that
you
they're
try
the
doing
high-
a damn talk show when all of a sudden you can't remember half the things you want to say.
Well, you were saying that the percentage of people that you hire.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe 10%.
Yeah.
Maybe 10%. And it's tough too because every company has their regulations or
Mhm.
their guidelines. You may be a fit for one, but you might not be fit for another.
Yeah. What does a job require?
So-
Stuff like that. Yeah.
So for those of you that are wondering about jobs and want a job or need a job, I will tell you one thing. People will say, "I want a job. I need a job," and I see it on social media all the time.
Yeah. No one's hiring.
Anybody hiring? I need a job.
Yeah.
I can do this. Sir, how's the food? Do I win? Guess what? You know who's hiring? Everybody!
Yeah, you got to go apply.
That's something I want to talk about after the news break.
Okay.
Applying for jobs
Mhm.
and the culture difference between us
Mhm.
and maybe a 16-year-old kid.
Oh boy.
There's a big difference.
Yep.
So we're going to break for news. And when we come back, we shall talk about the hiring process and applications and what the big differences are. And is it good? Is it bad? Right here.
The flagship for Griswold High School sports, and your home for local news and weather.
Broadcasting from Main Street in the borough of Jewett City.
The Streaming News and Sports Network, SNSN.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. President Biden and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping will have a rare virtual encounter this week as they gather online with other Pacific Rim leaders to chart a path to recovery out of the crisis brought on by the pandemic. The Biden administration is eager to start selling the bipartisan infrastructure bill to the American people.
In the coming days and weeks, President Biden and administration officials will be fanning out across the country, talking up the just approved $1 trillion bill. It has funding for roads, bridges, public transit, and broadband. And Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg claims it's not really a hard sell.
Look, a lot of this sells itself because communities never needed to be persuaded that their bridge needed to be fixed or that their airport needed an upgrade.
White House messaging will be important, given that polls show many Americans don't know what's contained in the legislation. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Houston's police chief says he expressed concern about safety to Travis Scott before the musician performed at a sold-out music festival on Friday. Attorney Tony Busby, who represents the family of victim Axel Costa of Washington State, says the 21-year-old died because he was not able to breathe.
The immense force of the unruly and out-of-control crowd created by the defendant's gross negligence created such significant pressure onto his body that he could not breathe.
8 people died and hundreds more were injured in a crush of fans as Scott took to the stage. Britain is investing some $285 million in small nuclear reactor research as the government seeks alternatives to fossil fuels amid fears over rising gas prices. The investment comes amid hope the smaller modular reactors could be in use by the 2030s. On Wall Street, Dow futures are off 23 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's the deal. I've had constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating for years. I've tried a lot of laxatives and fiber supplements, but my symptoms keep coming back.
You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Polish police have posted video showing a group of migrants who camped overnight just on the far side of Poland's eastern border in Belarus. Polish riot police and coils of razor wire faced the migrants, and police said the situation overnight was calm. Protesters who vandalized and damaged a Confederate monument will get paid.
Virginia City's paying $150,000 to 10 people who claim their rights were violated when they were arrested last year. Portsmouth cut $15,000 checks for each person last month. They were all charged with felonies after participating in a demonstration at the Portsmouth Confederate Monument. The charges were dropped, but attorneys argue their clients are due payment for being improperly defamed when there was no credible evidence to support the charges. Another $250,000 was spent to remove the damaged monument, which is currently in storage. Ron DeRockstra reporting.
News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. The winner in last week's Virginia governor's race is disclosing his tax returns.
Republican Governor-elect Glenn Youngkin's summaries of recent tax returns show the substantial amounts of income he made and has given away. The disclosure comes a few days after the former private equity firm executive defeated Democratic rival Terry McAuliffe. The spreadsheets show he made $127 million during a 5-year period, and he gave away $53 million to charity. Jason Walker reporting.
The U.S. Geological Survey says an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 6.2 has struck in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Nicaragua. The quake, at a moderate depth of 22 miles, occurred at 12:25 a.m. local time Tuesday. The epicenter was 38 miles south of Masachapa. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Local news, sports, and weather. SNSN. The 9 a.m. report on the streaming news and sports network is being brought to you by Charlene's Diner, 37 Main Street, Jewett City. Family owned for almost 40 years. Order what you want, eat what you get. That's Charlene's Diner.
I love working here because of the people, and I get to work with my family every day.
Come to Charlene's Diner for the best breakfast you've ever had.
That was Brittany and Matt from Charlene's Diner on Main Street in Jewett City. There are only a few things that have been able to stand the test of time in Jewett City, and one of them just happens to be Charlene's Diner, who just celebrated their 40th anniversary in business. How do you stay in business that long in a small town like Jewett City? It's a simple recipe, really great food and friendly service. And of course, family. You'll feel like family too, because you'll always be greeted with a smile that makes you feel like you're right at home. Stop by for breakfast or lunch 7 days a week. If you don't have any time, well, that's no problem. Order ahead and your food will be waiting for you when you walk into Charlene's door. You can find Charlene's Diner on Facebook too. Stop in and join the family for breakfast or lunch today.
I'm Charlene. Come to Charlene's Diner and order what you want and eat what you get.
This is a news update from the Streaming News and Sports Programming Network, SNSN.
At least one Griswold High School student was suspended yesterday after a fight broke out between two underclassmen in front of the main office at the high school. One student was said to be armed with a knife and cut the other in the forehead. State police and ambulance were on scene, and SNSN will bring you more as it becomes available, as this is under investigation. On Sunday, November 7th at about 2:34 p.m., state police was dispatched to a 3-car motor vehicle collision on Route 44 and Pumpkin Hill Road in Ashford that claimed the life of a Dayville man, 92-year-old Gerard Sinkmars, when he was struck head-on by a 22-year-old John Brozak of Coventry as Brozak tried to swerve out of the way from a car that was braking in front of him. Sinkmars was taken to Wyndham Hospital for his injuries at first and was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. If you have any information regarding this incident, please call Trooper Haynes at Troop C 860-896-3200 as this case remains under investigation and all calls will remain confidential. Another accident from Sunday at about 2:41, just about the same time as the other one. Members of Plainfield Police and Canterbury Fire Department responded to the report of a juvenile being struck by a vehicle in the area of 388 Norwich Road in Plainfield. Upon the investigation of responding officers, it was determined that a gray 2018 Dodge Caravan operated by 41-year-old Jessica Charette of West Warwick was traveling north on Norwich Road when the operator failed to maintain proper lane and struck 15-year-old Caleb Russell Lyons, who was walking north on Norwich Road. The caravan left the scene but was then located in Warregan. The juvenile was evaluated on scene by members of Plainfield Fire and Canterbury Fire Department and was later transported to Plainfield Bacchus Emergency Care in Plainfield for what appeared to be minor injuries. Charette was cited for evading responsibility as well as failure to maintain proper lane. Round 1 of the CIAC High School Girls Volleyball Tournament started yesterday, and Griswold hosted Housatonic. Housatonic from the northwest corner of Connecticut came to Griswold just to get swept. Griswold won 25-6, 25-6, and 25-11. Coranda Ruggiero, 19 assists, 8 kills, 8 aces, 4 digs. Abby Matheson, 6 kills and 3 aces. Michaela Nielsen had 6 kills, and Sonia Matheson had 5 kills and 3 aces. Coranda Ruggiero, also the ECC Girls Athlete of the Week. Coach Jamie Bruno said he was extremely happy to see Coranda honored as ECC Athlete of the Week. He says she's a phenomenal setter and a true competitor. She fought through a bad ankle sprain that week and came back in 4 days to help them beat Woodstock. Despite her lack of mobility due to the sprain, she still managed to have a great game. So congratulations to Coranda Ruggiero. State Boys Soccer Tournament starts tomorrow for Griswold. Actually, it starts today, but Griswold, the 4 seed, gets a bye. Griswold will play the winner between Montville and Immaculate. Montville has played Griswold twice this year, and they have split a 2-game series.
The 9 a.m. report on SNSN has been brought to you by Charlene's Diner, 37 Main Street, Jewett City. Family owned for almost 40 years. Order what you want. Eat what you get. That's Charlene's Diner.
Here's a look at your local weather forecast on SNSN. We should have sunny skies for Tuesday with a high near 66 degrees and a little bit of a wind out of the west, 6 miles per hour. For tonight, increasing clouds, temperatures dropping down to about 44 degrees, not much of a wind to speak of. And for Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, and those clouds should pretty much go away for mostly sunny skies for Wednesday, and temperatures right around 63 degrees.
The home of Griswold Wolverine Sports, SNSN.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Thanks for hanging with us after our news break this morning. All right, Rich. So, you ready to go again?
Let's do this.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Dude.
Feedback.
No,
right.
You have to swallow that thing. I mean, my God, no. You back up from it a little bit.
How's that?
It's a little bit better, yeah.
Can you hear me swallow? Good.
No, there you go.
Good.
Oh. All right, so we've been talking about the workplace, and we've been talking about remote working, and we haven't really gotten into distance learning from schools because that's a totally different subject altogether.
Same premise, though.
Same premise, but different. You know what I mean? So
different age group too.
Exactly. You would think that people that are working at home, you know, are a little more self-disciplined. Me, not so much.
Yep.
So when the pandemic started and they were, you know, trying to keep everybody, you know, at home, I had everything set up that I could, you know, do everything right from home. But didn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Could have done it right there. Well, what do you think happened?
Find other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Oh, look, my favorite movie's on.
Oh yeah, you know,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
get back to this later.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's
Oh, look
sort
what
of-
they posted on Facebook.
I'm gonna
Oh,
record this, you know,
Yeah.
and then that'll we'll put that in there. And oh, I can watch Shawshank Redemption. It's on at 11 o'clock. I can watch this.
Mm-hmm.
And your schedule gets all screwed up, and next thing you know, you have no work ethic whatsoever.
Yep.
So now the hiring process, that's I think totally different
Yep.
than it was when we were kids.
Probably.
So when I was a kid, to get a job, you'd have to go into a place. Maybe you sleep with a couple people, you know what I mean? Just to, you know,
Yeah.
make it look like, you know,
Oh.
you're worthy.
Tug and tug here, there.
Yeah, a little bit. And you know, you might get it once you know people, you know, you might get a job.
Yeah.
Or whatever. If not, whatever. Or you would simply go in and fill out applications. So that's what I'm aware of, right? So when I talk to the youth of America and ask them how they go ahead and get jobs, you know what I hear? Well, nobody's hiring.
I can only imagine. Yeah.
Why? Well, I filled out an application online. Yeah. So, and I think there's a false sense of security with the younger generation when it comes to procuring employment.
Yeah. Well, it's all virtual for them. Yeah.
Right. But they feel that that's enough. That's
Well-
enough. I got to fill out an application and hey, they're not calling me. I don't know what to do. Well, maybe you put in a shit application. You know,
Possibly,
you know, maybe you're, you know, if you had to write something, you know, to sell yourself, maybe you sounded like an idiot.
Well, I think a lot of the employers today also know how reliable a lot of the kids are today.
You know what? I don't know. I disagree because I still think that there's a certain amount of the population, kids that are going to be very, very reliable.
Oh yeah, there's gonna
just
be
like
a
when
lot
we
of
were.
them. Yeah,
just like when we were younger. Right?
Well, I think there's some reliable ones out there, but I think it's like other stuff. What do you always hear the most about? Negative things. So that's what everybody hears about, I think.
But
So,
we also heard that stuff when we were kids.
yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and now we're saying it, and then guess what'll happen? Our kids
Oh, yeah, they'll
will
hear the
say the
same
same thing. You know,
Yeah.
It just keeps going on and on.
Yeah, it's a circle.
So, how do you feel about? Let me ask you about
Mm-hmm.
the whole online application process, and also people in the social media land. How do you feel about the online application process? Is it worthy? Is it good, bad?
I like it as an initial, but I don't think there's enough follow through on the other end. I think employers will get them and they'll take it for all the worth in the world instead of actually like going and trying to say, hey, you know, I have these groups of applications, but I still want to talk to them. I think it's a good way to find out what the interest is from people and who's interested. But I think that should just really be the beginning, not the end all. That's
So Kathy says that her son filled out an application from text messaging over text.
Yeah. Yep.
That's ridiculous. Daryl pipes in. Daryl Nady from the Healthy Computer. Downtown Jewett City. Says most companies use computers to weed through the applications. When you send in an application, it is imperative that you look at the company's needs and use the same words that they use in the job description. So your application gets pushed through. Kids don't do that.
Well, I don't think they're taught to do that. I don't think. I think one of the schools, some of them are missing the boat on teaching kids what they have to do in real life. They need to prepare them for real life, not what, you know, a lot of the stuff they're doing today is.
I think a lot of companies are also very HR controlled.
Oh yeah, the larger ones are, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
and even small business. There are some that, you know, that have HR departments, And I don't think it's I don't know. I think that process weeds out people to say, well, okay, everybody is eligible, but we're not gonna.
Yeah, they have to say everybody's eligible. But they know what they want already.
It's like, no, we don't have any. I'm sorry, but we don't have any openings at this time.
Yeah.
That's all they got to say.
Yeah.
But
I think the you let me lose my train of thought now. I caught your bug. But I think the large aspect of it is they're not vetting the people for what they can do. They're vetting them for what they think they want. I think a lot of the times people have a lot to offer if you give them a chance or run them through maybe for a little while and see, hey, how they working out? What do they have to offer? What are they offering that I didn't think about? What are they? There's a lot of people out there, like you said. The guy comes in with 25 tattoos on his body. Does he have the skills that you need, or can you tuck him in the back because you don't want people to see that because you're afraid of the perception? But he can do a lot of work for you, or
yeah. Now, I know I keep going back to my Radio Shack days because I've got a lot of experience.
Well, it was real.
And it was real. Yeah. Here's what I would do. Now, this was before you could apply online or anything like that. I would have people, they would come into the store. Hi, I'd like to fill out an application. Absolutely. You have to give them an application. And even if there were times I ran out of applications, so I'd give them a piece of
paper.
Even
if you weren't hiring.
Yeah, you still have to take the application.
Okay.
You have to take something.
Sure.
If people are
okay.
And there would be people that would fill out the application, and then they would pull out this little paper, and it was from the Department of Labor, and it was like, "Can you sign this?" Why?
I came to apply for a job.
Because I came to apply for a job, right? I said, "Okay." He goes, "Well, I just gotta let them know that you're not hiring." I said, "How do you know I'm not hiring?" Well, just kind of assumed. Oh. I said, "Well, I'm assuming you're just trying to get names and signatures so you can get your unemployment check this week." Well, so guess who didn't get a job?
Right.
Yeah. Who didn't sign that paper? Me. And not because I was trying to be a jerk, but there were times that I was actually looking for people, and they would come in and they weren't interested in working.
Right.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Yep.
Now, if somebody came in, filled out an application, and then I never saw them again, that application would get filed. It would just right in the drawer. I would take them actually initially, and I would put them in my top right drawer. So I would have a stack, of maybe 8 to 10 applications, right?
Wow.
They would come in when I'm not there or whatever. So I would always look at them, but I always waited. I always waited for 2 to 3 days to see if they were going to show back up or if they were going to call, asking for, time to have an interview, or, are you scheduling interviews or something to show interest. And those are the people that I would look serious into hiring, because I felt that they were actually looking for a job. They were actually looking to be a part of something, as opposed to just filling out a piece of paper and walking away.
Sure.
I did my due diligence.
Right.
I don't need to do this. I'll get a job as a waiter and tell people, ask them when their mouth is full.
Yeah.
How's everything?
All
right.
Well, I think part of it is that they feel that they're given a job just because they applied sometimes, or they discriminated against me because I wasn't given the job.
Laura says 9 out of 10 when I contact an applicant via email, phone call, and text, they do not respond at all. Then if I get a response and schedule an interview, they don't show up. Oh, look at this. Let's see what's happening here. We got a call. Let's see if this is actual call.
Really?
Good morning. Who's on SNSN? Hello? You called us.
Weird.
I get a kick out of that. It's probably somebody who don't want to talk about her extended warranty.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
So, yeah. Then she said, after all that, if I get a response and schedule and interview, they don't show up, and that's a problem too. I mean, there could be reasons, but you know what? If you're not going to show up for an interview because you got another job,
say so. Yeah.
Call and say, thank you, for scheduling an interview, but I received another job that I think is going to be a better fit. Maybe in the future sometime. Okay.
Yeah.
Then that's fine. But when somebody doesn't, when somebody fills out an application, I don't ever see them again. I'm not calling them.
Yeah.
I'm not calling them at all.
That's what I was told.
Because the people that really want jobs, they will come back in. It's the same thing. All right. So if a kid asks me, or if I ask a kid, well, how did you apply for a job? Did it online. Okay. Now what? I don't know. Waiting for a phone call. No. No. What do I do? My advice is to, let's say you applied to Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Kohl's, any of the retailers down in Lisbon. So you walk in. I tell them, you go in. Wait 2 days. If you don't hear anything, go down. Why would I do that? Because you're looking for a job. They're hiring a person, not an application.
Right. Put a human face to it.
Exactly.
Personality type of.
Well, what do I do? Well, you walk in and you say, hi, can I speak to the hiring manager? Or can I talk to a manager? Or whatever.
You mean you actually go talk face to face?
Yeah. A novel concept, right? And then, someone's going to say, well, what is this about? And I would say, well, I applied for a job and I wanted to come and meet the hiring manager and introduce myself. That's it. Because my theory is when you go somewhere looking for a job, go through the process. You're not selling yourself to get a job first. You're selling yourself to get an interview with the person that will make a decision. So I always tell people, yeah, I'd like to talk to the hiring manager because I want to introduce myself. Now you have that clerk going,
yeah.
Jim to the front of the store. Jim to the front of the store. Manager Jim to the front of the store, please. And all Jim knows is he's being paged.
Yeah.
He's not being screened saying, hey, I got an application up here. The guy, he wants to get a job. Do you want me to send him on his way? Or, yeah, send him on his way. Okay. So now Manager Jim comes up. Hi, can I help you? Hi, my name is Mike. What was your name? Jim. Jim, nice to meet you. You don't even have to shake hands. Just say,
elbow.
Or just be sincere.
Yeah.
Eye contact. Yeah. Sincere. I just wanted to ask you to see if you got my application. No, I didn't. Oh, well, I filled it out a couple of days ago. And I just happen to have a copy of my resume right here. Can I give this to you? What do you think he's going to say?
No.
He's not going to review. You're going to, okay. Whether he takes it and stuffs it in his pocket, he's taking it.
Yeah.
No, I know in a perfect world, this, sounds like this. And then they go, okay, well, I'm not doing interviews at this time. Okay. Well, when you do start interviews, I would like to be considered.
Right.
So there's that. Oh, what's coming up?
That's ambulance call.
I would like to be considered. Okay. Chances are they're doing interviews. You might get an interview on the spot. but you're not going to know unless you don't drag your ass down there. You sit down playing Xbox after you put out 2 applications and think you're not going to get a call. Guess what? You're going to be unemployed.
There you go. It's the key right there. You got to get your ass out there and do the work.
Kathy, so active this morning. My son applied to Target, called to get a status on it, and he was told, do not call. They will call him if interested.
Yeah.
I don't care. You go there, and the store manager still makes the decisions. The store manager, or management will go ahead and push people through to HR that they want to see in their location. That's not going to happen. I'm the guy that will do shit until you tell me to stop. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for go-getters. They're not looking for schmucks to sit and fill out applications and sit there and wait while they eat bonbons playing Minecraft. Wake up. It's true.
Yeah.
This is
definitely true.
This is society today.
Yeah.
No, not all people are like that.
No, but they're finding a lot of them are.
Because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
And that's what they've been trained to do now. That's the big thing right there.
My feelings are much more important than you thinking I need for the job.
I should fill this out and have my job now.
Laura says all 3 of my kids put in applications and got hired because they were persistent and followed up with their application. They all had jobs once they turned 16. Perfect.
Persistence.
That's it. You got to show yourself. People don't hire something that you fill out.
Right.
And if they do, you know what? You are giving any employer total control of your life. I don't want to hire somebody that's going to sit back and wait for me to call them. No, I want them to come to me.
Right. They're gonna do
I
the
need
work.
a job, Mike. What can we do?
Right.
You know what? When I was with Radio Shack or Verizon Wireless, even if I wasn't hiring at the time, if people came in and you knew they were good, you knew that they were going to be solid and they were going to be an asset to your company, what do you think I did?
Put them on the
I
list.
hired them.
On
No,
the spot?
I found a spot for them.
Oh, okay.
When you get people that come in that you know are golden or really have an opportunity to blossom within your company, you get that sixth sense, right? You hire that person. You find a spot for him or her. Doesn't matter. What are your pronouns?
Well, they're dancing in the street.
Yeah.
On the sidewalk there, yeah.
Nice. Welcome to Jewett City.
No, but I think that's the key, right? Persistence is the key. You have to put the work in. You have to do the work and not just expect shit to come to you.
And I think that's the problem these days.
Yeah.
I really think that's a problem.
Yeah.
I think we wait for something to fall in our laps, thinking that it's not going to happen because they're telling us, nope, I don't care. We'll call you if we're interested. Nope.
Right. That's why I always laugh when they're on Facebook and you're looking and they say, "Oh, anybody know who's hiring?" Well, then
Everybody.
They give them a bunch of ideas and they're like, "Well, no, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Well, then you don't need a job."
You know what? And the reason, and I answer the same way. Everybody who's hiring. Everybody. Why? Because everybody is hiring. And I'm not saying that, as a statistic. I'm saying that if you walk in any given business and you sell yourself to the hiring manager and you prove to them that you would be an asset to the company, guess what? You're going to get hired. You're going to get hired. They're going to find a spot for you because they don't want to lose you. Why? Because they don't want you to go to their competition.
Makes sense.
And when I was with Verizon, I never hired people that came over from other cell phone companies.
Really? The spies?
No. No, not spies. Not like you. You damn spy. Because that was really just through trial and error because somebody came over from like AT&T or T-Mobile or whatever. They're already set in their ways, and you can't really mold them into the way your company does business. You could, but there's a lot of pullback. Well, I do it this way. Well, I do it that way.
That's nice.
Best employee I ever hired was a front desk clerk for Town Fair Tire.
Really? Because they had customer service mentality.
Service. Yeah. And they could communicate with people. That's really all that it is. People are like, I don't want to do sales. I can't do sales. It's just talking to people. It's all that it is. It's all made up into some thing that makes people phobic.
Yeah, they make it sound like an art.
So it is an art.
Yeah.
I mean, the art of sales. I mean, that's not a joke, but but it doesn't mean that somebody can't learn it. And it's not. I always get a kick out of people that would say, well, I got screwed on this car deal. Okay. How'd you get screwed? Well, they only gave me this and my payment's this and that. Okay. So how'd you get screwed? Well, I just told you. You didn't get screwed.
You accepted it.
I said, you screwed yourself.
Yeah.
You accepted the deal. You signed the purchase order. I said, did they put a pen in your hand and move your hand to your signature? No. Did they slam your face on the desk and say, sign it? No. You screwed yourself.
Yeah. True story.
Daryl says, Mike, are you hiring? Nope. Well, of course, like I said, Rich came into a 4X raise today. I mean, jeez. Again, congratulations, Rich.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations. Yeah, see. Rich was promoted this morning here at SNSN as well. He is now the senior vice president in charge of all battery installations. Wireless microphones need new batteries.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, I got a little animated again. I'm getting more and more animated in the morning. It must be the coffee. I swear to God.
Super.
High test. I just get a kick out of the hiring process and the way the culture is now. Culture is changing.
Yeah.
Tremendously.
Is it for the better though? That's the.
It's not about it's not changing. Not just like cancel culture and stuff like that, but everything is evolving into something different. And it happened. When we were kids too, our parents were saying the same thing. Now we're experiencing that. Vocabulary completely different.
Oh yeah, I can't even understand what the kids are saying half the time.
Are you woke?
Yeah.
Woke apparently doesn't even mean I'm awake.
No.
It's a totally different meaning. Okay. No. How about sus?
Doesn't like woke mean like you're
I don't even
about the culture of
I think
everything is horrible.
You understand it and you get it.
Yeah.
You're woke, man.
Yeah.
Get woke. I don't even know if that's even the way you say it. How about sus?
Never heard that one.
No. Man, you're pretty
Is that a flavor?
No, it's short for suspect.
Oh.
Like, saying, well, you're a suspect, man.
It's too hard to say the other half.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. That's all right. When I was in high school, the big thing to do was to speak backwards.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
That was a huge
Pig Latin
thing.
too.
Pig Latin was another one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just the way kids do, what's another one? So there's woke and there's sus. I don't even know. Fire. That's fire.
Yeah. Ice.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, my son would always do that when basketball practice.
Oh, okay.
That means ice in your veins. You did a.
Oh, okay. All right. No, I never.
Yeah.
And there are other ones. There's a million of them. I just can't remember them right now. And there's some big ones too.
I kind of just disregard them and ignore them. I always tell them, you want to talk to me, talk to me. I don't understand that.
But they are talking to you.
To their own language, sure.
Sure, but we had our language when we were kids.
Yeah. But my big difference was I didn't talk to the parents that way. So that,
Bussin'.
Oh.
That means like it's awesome. It's great, I think.
Bussin'?
Yeah, this
like busting?
Bussin'. No, just bussin'. Bussin.
Oh.
Not like the Griswold Elementary School is bussing kids into the elementary school today. No. It means those wings are bussin'.
And
I don't know what.
Try that.
And the other one is slapping. I don't know what that means. Slapping. S-L-A-P-P.
Like slapping in the back of the head?
I don't know. Laura, help me out. What does slapping mean?
But I think the big difference was when I was growing up, at least with my parents, my family, the people that I knew, you didn't talk to the adults that way. You didn't expect them to communicate with you that way. It was between you and your friends or the same group. That was I think the big difference for me.
My feelings are more important than what
Right.
you think on how I should talk, Rich.
Yeah. And my parents would say, I don't give a damn about your feelings.
Okay, so slapping is the same as bussin'.
Oh.
Where does bussin' come from? I don't even know. Is it like a form of busting?
Yeah, who comes up with this?
I don't know. Social media. Somebody puts it on social media and it catches
Island
fire.
Boys?
Island Boys. I'm just trying to make it. Yeah. Island Boys. Jerks. You know what? You can't hate on these Island Boys. I mean, they're just a couple of kids that did a video that went nuts,
viral.
That went viral. They don't have a record out or anything like that. They can't rap. I mean, you listen to them; they're awful. But their look and
The
just
sound.
their attitude,
crazy.
People resonate, or kids resonate with that. So,
Well, like you said, relevance is the key. That's
exactly. They've made themselves relevant.
Yeah.
And whether it was by hook or by crook or by accident,
it happened.
Island Boy. See, I can't stop. No, I'm 55
it's stuck
years
in your
old.
head.
Yeah, I'm 55 going, Island Boys. I'm just trying to make it.
But that's the key. You got a relevancy. That's
And then what they do now is like on TikTok, there are people of all age groups and they're doing videos as Island Boys and they're just duetting those videos and it's crazy.
Speaking of relevance,
Oh. He's relevant.
Yeah.
He's a good
Getting
guy.
everything.
Huh?
Getting everything.
Al, we're talking about Al who walks up and down Main Street here in Jewett City, sweeping and cleaning.
He's got a cart today too.
Does it?
Something left a cart or something. I don't know.
Now Al is what? I don't know how old Al is.
I have no idea. 40s maybe.
Mid 40s, something like that. Main Street is clean because of him. He's out there like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, sweeping and cleaning and just up and down, up and down. I was talking to his brother one day, and whose name is Paisan. A lot of people know Paisan
really?
up in Jewett City. He does a lot of construction. He's doing one on Ashland Street right now. And he just said, he goes, he loves it. I think it gives him purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's doing great. Doing great.
Oh yeah, he's such a nice guy too.
Yeah, it's right here.
Hey Al! Hey Al! He's looking at it.
What?
Oh goodness. All right, so I think we covered a lot of stuff that what I think is funny, and I was talking to Paul about this too, is that we'll start a live broadcast on social media. What are you going to talk about? I don't know. And then it just kind of evolves.
Kathy asked me this morning, what are you guys going to talk about today?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We always find something.
Coffee. I don't know.
Coffee, yeah. These beans are roasted to perfection. Jeez. So, but we always find something. It's kind of what It's kind of like with the Seinfeld of internet radio
Yeah.
or something. I don't know. Because Seinfeld was about nothing.
Yeah, story about
know.
nothing. I watched that episode.
So if anybody has, here's a couple of things. And I am looking at you that may be watching us right now.
You.
Yeah, you right there. you. No, not the guy behind you or not the lady behind you. You. That's who I'm talking to. If you have a subject or a certain guest that you would like us to bring in and have a discussion with, whether it's here or virtually or on the phone or something that you want to know about, or something that you feel is relevant, send me a message.
Means you got to communicate.
Yeah.
Back.
I'm going to put on an application online. Don't show up.
Or how about one of them come in?
Yeah, you could do that too. So, but we would love to know what you are interested in and what you want to see us talk about, or us facilitate a conversation between all of us. So I think that's really, really important, especially with community radio and community media and stuff. Because really, it's not about you and me at all. It's about let's talk about things that are relevant.
It's not about me.
No, I know. I keep telling you. But Mike, is it going to be about me tomorrow? No, Rich. No. Manager Rich to the front, please. Manager Rich. So that's one thing. The other thing is that if you find our little rhetoric funny and entertaining or informational, tell somebody. Tell somebody that about what we do in the morning and how we like to interact and we like to integrate, with everybody that shows up and comes in, and we're all part of the conversation. It's so tell a friend, a family member, or somebody that you don't like.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend, and tell them about this. And let's see. That's really the only way, because Facebook ain't gonna put shit out, and they don't care. They don't care unless you boost your post for $20. Then they'll get out there. Anyway, so yeah, tell people if you enjoy the show, chances are people will enjoy it too. If you have like interests and stuff. And the other thing is we would love to know what you would want to talk about, whether it's a community thing or there's a national situation or international situation that you think that would be relevant for us here in Jewett City, Griswold, Plainfield, Canterbury, Voluntown, Lisbon to talk about. Right?
Yeah, I like it because
didn't
you
say
learn about
Oregon or Moosup because it's part of Plainfield. So like tomorrow, we have a couple of guests.
Oh, really? Who?
We'll have actually at 8:10 we will have the lead role actors and actresses from the fall play at Griswold High School.
Oh, wow.
So Tim Moore, who directs the fall play every year, is coming in and talking about the play. That'll be tomorrow morning. And then right after that, we have a gentleman who I think is really interesting. His name is Brian Culpin. And Brian, him and his wife sold everything. Literally. They have 3 kids. 3 or 4 now. I don't know. They have a lot. They literally sold their house, all their belongings, bought an RV, and traveling the country.
That's cool.
They're homeschooling their kids, and they're going to give us an idea of what it's like. What, is this something for you? Because more and more people are doing that, especially with, we were talking about, virtual, employment.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
If you can do that and be in Kansas one day and, Macon, Georgia the next, why not?
Yeah.
And he's going to talk about as well as just like the community of people. He said, I was talking to him yesterday, and he said, you don't believe the amount of people that are actually doing this. So Brian has a goal that in mind, for what he's doing. They're doing this for 2 years, He said it's going to be a 2-year thing. He said it might be longer. He says because we love it. He said it's amazing.
Wow.
So who knows if they'll ever stop? You know?
Why stop?
Right, exactly. And I've been following them around, you know, as far as, you know, like talking to him, you know, where are you now? Where are you now? It's a really interesting story. And he's going to tell us, you know, how he did it, why he did it, what are they doing? And I know what his goal is. But if you want to know what his goal is, got to tune in tomorrow morning to find out. But
that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. It's a neat thing. Because like there are people that are retired now. They say, oh, you know what? We're going to go ahead and drive around.
Well, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Why not?
You could do that now.
Yeah.
Really? You know what I mean?
I don't have a job you can do that. I'd have to.
Melissa and I talked about it.
Yeah.
We literally could.
You could, because you could do the show anywhere you wanted.
Do the show anywhere I want. Number one. Number two, there's only one kid left at home. You know, I mean, I have a daughter who lives with her mother. And that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if we wanted to, we could just all over the place. Wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter at all. Because you could do everything remotely.
Yeah.
Except for her job. She has to actually be there. So anyway. But it's a real interesting conversation. So again, tomorrow we're going to have the students in from Griswold High School that are in the fall play, the lead roles, as well as Tim Moore, one of the teachers from Griswold High School. He's also the director and the one who does everything with the fall play. And then Brian Culpin a little bit after 9, as he will be with us talking about his journey across America with his wife and his kids, that they're homeschooling or bus schooling or whatever you call it. But
yeah,
it's a real
remote
interesting
learning.
Yeah, it's a real interesting story, and I think that people will really, I don't know if they'll resonate with it, because there's a lot of folks that I talk to go like, "Oh, I'd really love to do that." Well, Brian will give you some information. Well, maybe it's right for you. Maybe it's not, but he will let you know.
Excellent.
All right, Rich. Thanks for coming. Are you coming
My pleasure.
Thursday?
So far.
So far.
Stay tuned. Don't know ever what's going to happen day to day
So far,
sometimes.
so good. All right, man. All right. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We will see you once again tomorrow. Like I said, with those guests. And, of course, Paul Lash will be with us right here on SNSN. Have a good day.
Don't just wish for a winning deal. Make it Dish. It will make it real. Don't just wish. Make it Dish.
Hey everyone, this is Ellis Dish from Dish Motors. We're back better than ever with our new sales and service center on Route 32 in North Franklin. Everyone says there's nothing better than dealing with the dishes, and here's why. Selection. We have the area's largest inventory of off-lease, one-owner vehicles of all makes and models. You name it, we got it, or I'll get it for you at no additional charge. Quality. Each vehicle goes through a rigorous 120-point safety and quality check. Nothing leaves the lot without my personal approval. Convenience. We have financing sources for almost any situation. We offer on-site registration